Angelina, I've been thinking a lot lately about how we, as a society, really view failure. It's almost like a dirty word, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, John. It's true. From childhood, we're conditioned to avoid it, to strive for perfection. The idea of making a mistake, of failing, it just carries such a heavy stigma, like it's the opposite of success, when really it's anything but.
Exactly. That's what I want to talk about today. This whole concept of fail, learn, repeat. It's such a powerful mantra, but it's so counterintuitive to how most of us are raised to think.
It really is. And I think it's one of the biggest mental hurdles for anyone trying to achieve anything meaningful. Because let's be honest, whether you're starting a business, learning a new skill, or even just trying to get fitter, you're going to stumble, you're going to miss targets, you're going to fall short.
And that's where the separation happens, right? Between those who just give up when they fail and those who actually use it as fuel. What separates them isn't that they don't fail, it's what they do next.
That's the learn part, isn't it? Instead of just saying, oh well, I guess I'm not cut out for this, they ask the critical questions. What went wrong? Why did it go wrong? What could I have done differently?
Yes, it's about discipline. Because failure, in a way, is a gift. It exposes your weaknesses. It highlights the cracks in your plan, the flaws in your approach. And a disciplined mind doesn't shy away from that exposure. It turns it into an education.
I love that. Turns it into an education. It's like having a really tough but ultimately brilliant teacher. You get that grade you weren't expecting, but instead of just complaining, you go back to the professor and say, help me understand where I went wrong.
Exactly. And that requires a certain level of humility, doesn't it? To admit, okay, I didn't get this right, my initial approach was flawed. That's not easy for a lot of people.
No, it's not. Ego can be a huge barrier to learning. If you're too proud to admit you failed, you can't possibly learn from it. You'll just justify it away or blame external factors. But true learning, that's about honest self-assessment.
And then, after the learning, comes the repeat part, which I think requires an even deeper kind of courage, because you've just failed, you've exposed yourself, you've learned. Now you have to step back into the arena and try again, knowing you might fail again.
Oh, absolutely. It's one thing to analyze the past, it's another to proactively step into the future with that knowledge and apply it. That's where resilience is truly built. Each cycle of failure, learning, and trying again, it's like a muscle. It gets stronger every time.
It sharpens your skill, strengthens your mindset, and probably most importantly, deepens your self-trust. Because you start to realize, hey, I can handle this. I can fall and I can get back up. I can learn and I can improve.
Yeah, that self-trust is huge. I think about my own journey trying to learn a new language. I've messed up grammar, used the wrong words, sounded completely ridiculous so many times. And every time there's that little voice saying, just stop, you're not good at this.
Oh, tell me about it. I remember when I was trying to learn to code. It felt like I was failing every 5 minutes. A semicolon in the wrong place, a typo, a logic error that crashed the whole program. It's incredibly frustrating.
Right? But then you debug, you find the mistake, you fix it, and suddenly that tiny piece of code works. And that feeling, that little aha moment, that's what keeps you going. That's the learn and repeat in action.
And it makes you realize that progress is rarely a straight line. It's bumpy, it's full of detours, and it's definitely full of trial and error. The discipline is what keeps you engaged through that messy process.
Absolutely. Because if you expect instant success, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Growth happens through repetition, through those iterative improvements, not some magical overnight breakthrough.
I think a lot of people try something once, maybe twice, they encounter a significant roadblock or a clear failure, and then they just stop. They interpret that failure as a sign that they're not meant for it, or that it's too hard.
Which is such a shame because they're missing out on the immense power of those small corrections. Imagine if a rocket launched and veered off course slightly and the engineers just said, well, I guess we can't get to the moon. No, they make tiny continuous adjustments, and over time those small corrections lead to massive, monumental achievements.
That's a brilliant analogy. It's the cumulative effect. Each fail, learn, repeat cycle is like a tiny course correction. Individually they might seem insignificant, but added together over weeks, months, years, that's how you get breakthroughs.
And it really drives home that failure itself is temporary. It's a momentary state. But the lessons you extract from it, those are permanent, if you choose to learn, that is.
That's the key, isn't it? The choice. You can choose to be defeated by it, or you can choose to be educated by it. It's all in your perspective. You know, I've heard it said, don't fear mistakes, respect them.
I love that. Respect them, because they are guiding you. They're telling you where the edges are, where the boundaries lie, what doesn't work. It's like a map for improvement, if you know how to read it.
So, how do we operationalize this? How do listeners start to integrate this fail, learn, repeat into their daily lives, into their big projects?
I think it starts with fail with intention. Don't just stumble blindly. Set a hypothesis, take a calculated risk, and expect that it might not work perfectly the first time. Design your experiments so you can learn from them.
That's smart. It's not about being reckless, but about being strategic in your attempts. Knowing that even if this specific attempt doesn't hit the bullseye, it will give you data, it will give you information.
Exactly, and then learn with honesty. Be brutally honest with yourself about what went wrong. No blame, no excuses, just pure, unvarnished self-reflection. What was my role? What were the variables I could control?
Which, as we said earlier, requires that humility, to truly look inwards and take responsibility for your part in the outcome, even if it wasn't the desired one.
And finally, repeat with discipline. This is where consistency comes in. It's not enough to learn once. You have to put that learning into practice, over and over, refining your approach each time. That's the courage part.
It truly is. It's the grit that keeps you pushing forward. Because success, at its core, isn't about never falling. It's about standing up every single time you fall, dusting yourself off, and moving forward smarter than you were before.
That's the mantra we should all live by. Every fall is just an opportunity to adjust your stance, strengthen your core, and prepare for a more powerful leap next time. It's a continuous growth cycle.
So, for anyone listening out there who's feeling discouraged by a recent setback, remember this: your failure isn't a dead end. It's just a signpost, a very clear signpost pointing you towards what you need to learn to get to where you're going.
Embrace the process. Fail with intention, learn with honesty, and repeat with unwavering discipline. You'll be amazed at how quickly those perceived failures transform into the building blocks of your greatest successes.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Angelina. Thank you for this insightful conversation today.
It was a pleasure, John, and to all our listeners, go forth and fail productively.